The top stories tonight in Y News. The Philippine Coast Guard seeks to probe the cause of coral destruction in two reefs within the country's exclusive economic zone.
The Commission on Elections on Bank unanimously decided to push through the conduct of this year's Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections in Negros, Oriental.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and the National Food Authority Council set a new buying price for palay in order to improve the income of local farmers.
Plus, the United States and Chinese officials hold candid discussions in Malta to talk about their nation's relationship.
Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Monday, September 16, 2023. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. I am Maria Latoza.
We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media channels. I am Marvi Delphine.
First in the news, the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, or BFAR, has put together programs to extend assistance to our fishermen in the West Philippine Sea. The agency's objective is to educate each and every fisherman in the WPS area, enhancing their knowledge and skills in the proper and sustainable fishing practices. Alan Manansala will tell us why.
The LAYAG program, which stands for Livelihood Activities to Enhance Fisheries Yield and Economic Gains by the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, or BFAR, aims to educate fishermen in the West Philippine Sea to become more knowledgeable and skilled in proper fishing practices. This program also encompasses livelihood interventions, particularly focusing on technical expertise.
Tinutulungan natin technical yung ating mga mangingisda para sa ganon, makapag-isda pa sila at maibalik sila doon sa kanilang traditional fishing ground.
BFAR previously provided various fishing equipment to fishermen on Pag-asa Island amounting to approximately 80 million pesos in value. In addition to providing fishing equipment, BFAR conducted capacity building programs covering proper fish handling, good manufacturing practices, and sanitation standards. This week marks the celebration of the 2023 Fish Conservation Week by BFAR. FishCon, observed every third week of September, is part of the annual Maritime and Archipelagic Month with the goal of coordinating efforts within the maritime industry. Under the theme Abundant Fisheries, Prosperous Economy, it highlights the connection between our fisheries sector and the economic development of our nation.
Lahat tayo konektado. Isang planeta, isang mundo, isang ecosystem. Kailangan tayo magbigis kamay, magtulong-tulong para isulong ang marine conservation at fishery management. Itong ligong ito, yun po yung ating pinaparating sa mga kasama natin mangisda at sa publiko na kailangan tayo magtulungan para itaguyod ang masaganang pangisdaan at maunlad na ekonomiya.
Alan Manansala, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The Philippine Coast Guard, or PCG, will dispatch a ship to Razul Reef and Escoda Shoal, along with marine scientists from the University of the Philippines Marine Science Institute, to investigate the cause of coral destruction in these two reefs situated within the exclusive economic zone of the Philippines. The PCG is seeking information regarding the possibility of significant damage and identifying those responsible for it.
We cannot really say the motivation of whoever dumped those crash corals in Escoda Shoal. This primarily the reason why we need maritime scientists to evaluate and also to get sample for us to really understand the objective of those damp crash corals in Escoda Shoal.
In the underwater video released by the PCG, it is evident that the corals are no longer present in the area and crushed corals have been dumped. Although the PCG does not have a video showing that the Chinese maritime militia did this, based on their monitoring, the CMM vessel was seen in the area before the corals were destroyed. The PCG reports the discovery of 48 Chinese maritime militia vessels at Rosul Reef and Escoda Shoal from August 9 to September 11 of this year.
But if you're going to ask me kung meron ba tayong naaktuhan na Chinese maritime militia vessels na pinapatay nila ang coral to whatever activities na ginagawa nila dyan, we don't have any. But in terms of circumstances, that's the only thing we are sure for now. Na nung panahon na tumambay sila dyan, right after that, when we did the underwater survey, ito yung ating nakita.
The PCG emphasizes that Filipino fishermen are the most affected by the destruction of these reefs as they rely on these areas for fishing.
The seabed resources, supposedly ang mag-exploit at mag-explore nito ay sambayan ng Pilipino. But with this kind of damage marine ecosystem, it will also affect our fisher folks, no, sa pangingisda nila. The scientific side of it, I would refer that to marine scientists.
The Philippine National Police has confirmed the arrest of 682 gun ban violators from August 28 to September 17. According to PNP Public Information Office Acting Chief Police Colonel Jean Fajardo, 422 firearms were confiscated, along with 3,157 other contraband items and deadly weapons. Meanwhile, Colonel Fajardo stated that the PNP recorded 35 suspected election-related incidents. Out of this number, 19 were validated as non-election-related violence, while 12 are still under validation. Only 4 were confirmed as election-related incidents.
Doon naman po sa 4 na validated ERIs, 3 po dyan ay shooting incident, 1 po ang alarms and scandal, 2 na po dyan ay na-refer na po natin sa prosecutor's office at 2 po yung under investigation.
The Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections, or BSKE, in Negros Oriental will push through on October 30, 2023. Dante Amento details why.
The Commission on Elections, or COMELEC, and Bank unanimously decided to push through the conduct of the Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections, or BSKE, in the province of Negros Oriental next month. COMELEC Chairman George Erwin Garcia explained this is based on the recommendation from the authorities and the result of the public consultation in the province. There was a proposal to postpone the BSKE in Negros Oriental after the Pamplona massacre that killed Governor Ruel Digamo and some civilians.
Minarapat po ng inyong COMELEC na ituloy ito sapagkat base po sa nakalap namin na mga papeles, dokumento, ebidensya mula po sa lugar kung saan nagkaroon ng 3 araw na pagdinig ang inyong COMELEC, napatunayan po talaga namin overwhelmingly na talaga naman ang gusto ng mga kababayan natin doon ay tumuloy ang eleksyon.
The poll body also put the entire province under COMELEC control, which means the strict security will be implemented. But the government services in the area will remain as usual.
Kung sakali man po na medyo may konting kahigpitan dahil sa ating ipatutupad na COMELEC control, ipagpaumanhin, pero yan po'y para sa ikabubuti ng lahat, para po masigurado natin na ang mga kababayan natin ay makakaboto sa araw ng eleksyon.
Meanwhile, the COMELEC, the Office of the Vice President, and the Public Attorney's Office, or PAO, signed a memorandum of agreement this afternoon. PAO will give legal assistance to teachers if any complaints are filed against them while serving in the elections. Vice President and Education Secretary Sara Duterte urged the authorities to ensure the protection of teachers from different threats.
Totoo ito. Wala po akong natandaan na eleksyon na walang kwento ng teacher na sinasaktan, inaatake, tinatakot, binibigyan ng death threats, ng mga rape threats at kung iba't ibang threats pa sa kanilang buhay at sa kanilang pamilya.
VP Sara also urged the poll body to give the honoraria for teachers on time. Dante Amento, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The lawmakers in the House of Representatives, led by Speaker Martin Romualdez, pressed the oil industry to do something to help mitigate the impact of oil price hikes. On Tuesday, the House leadership meets with various oil companies and officials of the Departments of Energy and Finance to find solution regarding the continued increase in crude oil prices. Rosa Licos will tell us why.
Various suggestions were made during the consultative meeting of House Speaker Martin Romualdez with oil industry players and officials of the Department of Energy and Finance to mitigate the impact of the continued increase in crude oil prices. Among these are the possible review and suspension of excise tax or value-added tax on oil and petroleum products if the cost of crude oil will hit $80 per barrel in the world market, as well as buying oil early or in advance. The House Speaker appealed to the oil companies to team up with the government to cushion the impact.
Para gawin natin itong teamwork, di ba? That we will work together, and that's why we invited you here. And again, we thank you for coming here at short notice, no? But we also want the people to know that we are very, very much interested and very eager to find solutions and ways and means, and that we are one with them, and that we will not be sitting on our hands doing nothing and watching the oil price increase without attempting to mitigate or making attempts to arrest the prices of the oil from going further up.
However, after the meeting, House Deputy Majority Leader and ACT-CIS Party List Representative Erwin Tulfo revealed no agreements were made during the meeting. This is the reason why there will be another meeting next week between the House Speaker and oil companies. The oil industry players were also told to contribute on oil price hikes mitigations after they request several measures from the government.
But then the Speaker said, what you've been asking for a lot, diba? So what can you give us naman? So we're ready to talk about this, different agencies, pero what can you offer us? Wala silang masagot. So may round 2, may second round na meeting ulit. They will be consulting daw with their sponsors, yung mga chairman of the board nila, CEOs nila, kung ano ang may offer nila.
Meanwhile, an official of the PBBM administration says the government may lose billions of pesos of revenues if the excise tax on oil products will be suspended.
If I'm not mistaken, ang is 9.8 billion for the rest of the year lang, ha?
Until December.
December lang.
This was also pointed out by Senior Vice Chairperson of the House Appropriations Committee and Marikina City 2nd District Representative Stella Kimbo.
Pag magsususpend po tayo ng taxes, ibig sabihin yan, there are foregone revenues. And when we forgo revenues, ibig sabihin yan, mawawalan po tayo ng suporta para sa spending.
Rosa Licos, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
And for the news abroad. Recently, officials of the two biggest economies of the world met in Malta to talk about their nation's relationship. Chariz Dongbowen will tell us why live. Yes, Chariz, good evening.
Good evening, Marvi. Over the weekend, candid discussions between Jake Sullivan, the United States National Security Advisor, and Wang Yi, China's foreign minister, took place, discussing the nation's current relationship over trade and militarization of the Pacific. Issues regarding Taiwan were put forward by Minister Wang Yi, claiming Taiwan as Chinese territory, a line that cannot be overstepped in the Sino-US relations. Despite this, the United States has promised to provide defense to Taiwan if ever faced with Chinese aggression, noting the importance of peace and stability across Taiwan. According to a statement by the White House, the two nations are committed to maintaining a strategic channel of communication, high-level engagement, and consultation. Meanwhile, the candid discussion between the two officials serves as groundwork for precedents of the two nations meeting, which is expected to happen later in the year. Back to you, Marvi.
Thank you, Charis Dongboen, reporting live from Japan.
The European Union proposed a plan to assist Italy in managing the arrivals of thousands of asylum seekers in the island of Lampedusa over the past week. Ruth Bahe will tell us the details live. Yes, Ruth, good evening.
Good evening, Marielle. More than 8,000 migrants from North Africa have recently arrived in the Italian island of Lampedusa over the past 3 days, sparking a debate in Europe on how to share the responsibility for managing the increasing number of asylum seekers each year. Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni urged the European Commission President to witness the migration crisis after the Lampedusa declared a state of emergency this week. During her visit to Lampedusa on Sunday, September 17, the European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen presented a 10-point action plan to assist Rome in addressing the migrant crisis. The plan emphasizes managing legal migration effectively and taking stricter stance on irregular migration. It also involves enhancing the training of Tunisian coast guards and other law enforcement agencies, battling against migrant smuggling and trafficking, and providing humanitarian assistance to those in need. The European Commission President also stressed that a stricter process will be in place.
And I want to be very clear. We have an obligation as part of the international community. We have fulfilled it in the past and we will do so today and in the future. But we will decide who comes to the European Union and under what circumstances, and not the smugglers and traffickers.
According to the recent data from the Interior Ministry, over 127,000 individuals have arrived in Italy by sea this year, surpassing last year's figure of 66,200. Back to you, Marielle.
Thank you, Ruth Bahe, for that live report. We'll share more global stories with you later.
YouTube, please click the subscribe button you see on your screen and ring the bell for notification. You may also follow us on Facebook. The National Food Authority set on Monday a new price range for palay buying price in response to the changing production and market conditions, with an aim of improving farmers' income and ensuring sufficient supply of the staple. Nel Maribohok reports.
The National Food Authority Council, led by President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., decided to increase the price range for buying of palay. President Marcos announced this development after his meeting with the NFA Council in Malacanang.
Nagtawag ako ng meeting ng NFA Council para tignan ang paano nang pwedeng gawin para ang presyo ng pambili ng NFA sa palay, yung wet at saka yung dry, ay kailangan natin tignan dahil nagbago na ang sitwasyon.
The council decided that the buying price of dry palay would be 19 pesos to 23 pesos, while wet palay would be priced at 16 pesos to 19 pesos. President Marcos said they came up with the new palay buying price range to give Filipino farmers better income.
Yun ang aming ginagawa nang masiguro na makapagbigay naman tayo ng magandang hanap buhay sa ating mga magsasaka. Kaya mabuti naman, maganda naman ang production cost naman ng mga farmer ngayon nasa 14-15. So meron na silang pagkikitaan.
Leonardo Montemayor, chairman of the Federation of Free Farmers, has welcomed the development, but he said the procurement budget of NFA should be increased and help farmers in their palay drying. Nel Maribuho, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
With a series of oil price hikes occurring in the country, basic necessities and prime commodities in supermarkets may see price increases until the end of the year. Bernadette Tinoy will tell us why.
The prices of basic necessities and prime commodities in supermarkets may increase in the following weeks due to the recent oil price hikes in the country. This comes after the government announced that they will urge manufacturers and the Supermarket Association to delay price increase until December.
Kung sumunod sila sa pakiusap ng gobyerno na huwag magtaas ng presyo till end of this year, no? Or until another pandemic comes along, no? Wala problema tayo.
Stephen Kua, president of the Philippine Amalgamated Supermarkets Association, mentioned that they base their prices on their manufacturers and distributors, which have been significantly impacted by the oil price hikes.
11 straight weeks na medyo tatamaan na kasi laki na ng tinas eh, no? Walang reprieve, walang break, walang recess sa pagtaas kung sa eskwelahan. So, yes, it's likely na may mga magtataas ng presyo dahil doon.
Meanwhile, consumers like Alma Tapulayan expressed concerns that they will be affected if prices increase in supermarkets as they do not have enough in their budget.
Iniisip ko nga yung budget ko, biglang tumaas yung bilihin. Hindi siya kakasya talaga. Kahit anong gawin ko, hindi siya kakasya.
Bernadette Tinoy, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The National Bureau of Investigation, or NBI, submitted a recommendation to the Department of Justice, or DOJ, today, September 18. This is for the filing of complaints over the onion smuggling, price manipulation, and profiteering. Justice Secretary Crispin Boying Remulla said among the respondents are government officials who are allegedly involved in the onion controversy. However, the DOJ has not yet disclosed the names of the government officials. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. recently ordered an investigation into the overpriced onions.
This is just the beginning of the cases to be filed, and this is for hoarding and profiteering, two violations of law that were committed by those who are the respondents in this complaint filed by the NBI.
The Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency Cordillera and Kalinga Police Provincial Office destroyed over 3 million pesos worth of marijuana in the town of Tinglayan, Kalinga. Grace Flores will tell us the details.
In the continuing campaign to eradicate marijuana, the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency Cordillera, Kalinga Provincial Office, along with various units of the Philippine National Police, destroyed a 17,000 square meter marijuana plantation with over 17,000 pieces of fully grown marijuana plants with a cost of 3.4 million in Barangay Botbot, Tinglayan Town, Kalinga. Operatives and police personnel started marijuana eradication on September 14 to 16, 2023.
Sa patuloy na pagsasagawa ng Marijuana Eradication Campaign ng PDEA Cordillera ay muli nilang sinira ang mga tanim ng marijuana na nagkakahalaga ng 3.4 million pesos sa Barangay Butbut, Tinglayan, Kalinga.
Based on the report of PDEA CAR Public Information Officer Rosel Sarmiento, the operating units pulled and burned all the marijuana plantations planted in one area. No cultivators were arrested in the operation. The police stated the operation after receiving an intelligence report that said there was a large marijuana plantation in the mountains part of the town. Meanwhile, according to Sarmiento, their column is trying to push the problem in the region against illegal drugs.
Bagaman hindi po madaling wakasan o ipatigil ang pagtatanim ng marijuana sa ating rehiyon, ay tinitiyak po ng PDEA na ginagampanan nito ang pagbawas ng supply ng illegal na droga na pumapasok at lumalabas dito sa ating rehiyon.
Sarmiento added that they are trying to extend to the cultivators the farm project that is an alternative livelihood program offered to marijuana growers to stop such illegal activities.
Meron silang alternatibong programa na magbibigay pangkabuhayan sa mga identified cultivators. Ilan po kasi sa mga challenges na hinaharap ng lokal na gobyerno ay itong mga lupain na ginagamit sa pagtanim ng marijuana ay unregistered lands or publicly managed lands kung saan mahirap tukuyin kung sino-sino ang mga dapat bigyan ng alternatibong programa.
PDEA Cordillera encourages marijuana cultivators to better consult the local government to give them a proper livelihood. Kalinga PNP continues to intensify community relationship to catch and make those who grow marijuana in the regions responsible to the law. Grace Flores, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
And in other global news, the Queensland government felt the need to suspend Human Rights Act to implement new legislation regarding the detention of children as young as 10 years old. Maven Carizo tells us why.
Australian government suspended Human Rights Act again for its second time this year to be able to lock up more children 10 to 18 years old, as there are no more spaces in designated youth detention centres. Australia's Productivity Commission reported that Queensland has the highest number of children in detention amongst all Australian states and increased by more than 27% in the last 7 years. For the Queensland government to house these growing numbers, the ruling Labor Party needed to push to hold children ages 10 to 18 years old in police house watches indefinitely. This brings real concerns to Human Rights Commissioner Scott McDougall, for it is said to cause irreversible harms to children's mental health, as Watch House contains small concrete cells with no windows, which he described as a concrete box. These facilities are essentially adult holding areas. The amended bail laws was introduced earlier this year. However, due to these changes in youth justice laws, Queensland government had to suspend Human Rights Act to legally permit the detention of children as their new legislation. Maven Carizo, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
In the United States, the ongoing industrial action at General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis has now entered its third day, and there's no swift resolution in sight. The United Auto Workers, or UAW leader, has issued a stern warning, indicating that the striking workforce could escalate their actions if the automakers fail to improve their wage proposals during ongoing negotiations. UAW President Shawn Fain, in an interview with CBS News, emphasized that the need for better offers from General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis to address the concerns of their workers. And Fain pointed out that these companies, given their substantial recent profits, have no valid excuse for not resolving the salary disputes. The UAW's demands encompass comprehensive workforce improvements, including a substantial 40% wage increase over the next 4-year contract, a figure currently falling short of the auto company's offers, which hover around 20%. Their demands further extend beyond wage increases, but also include demands for shorter work weeks, restoration of defined benefit pensions, and enhanced job security as automakers transition to electric vehicles. While only a fraction of the union's 150,000 workers, roughly 12,700, are currently participating in the strike, Fain remarks suggest the potential for a more extensive labor action that could reverberate throughout the economy. Former President, or Vice President rather, Mike Pence, a contender for 2024 Republican presidential nomination, attributed the wage stagnation issue to the Biden administration and criticized its electric vehicle initiatives for potentially favoring Chinese battery manufacturers. In contrast, Democrats have rallied behind the auto workers, and President Biden emphasized the importance of a strong labor movement and equitable sharing of record corporate profits. And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe.
After the successful launch of the Philippine Experience program in the Davao region, the agency has announced plans to bring this program to Calabarzon, Bicol region, and Western Visayas. Gladys Tawabi has the details.
During the 3-day pilot of the Philippine Experience program by the Department of Tourism, guests were taken to the Davao region, where they had the opportunity to experience the best of the region's tourism offerings. They visited the Malagos Chocolate Museum, known to be the first chocolate museum in the country, and enjoyed the Banana Walkway tour in Panabo City, Davao del Norte, the banana capital of the Philippines.
Under the enhanced tourism approach of the Marcos administration, we envision expanding the value proposition for Philippine tourism. In that, while we will continue to support all promotional, marketing, and development efforts for fun and adventure, we're also expanding our offerings to include our culture, our heritage, our history, and everything that makes our regions distinct and unique.
The agency has announced that the next destinations for the Philippine Experience will be Calabarzon, Bicol region, and Western Visayas, with plans to extend the program across the country.
To show their heart and soul to our tourists through their festivals, their food, their music, their products, their local living, cultural traditions, their heritage sites, and the like. Thus far, we have been able to mount the Philippine Experience in the Davao region, and we intend to bring this caravan all over the Philippines.
The Department of Tourism emphasizes that one of the aims of this program is to equalize opportunities across the regions and support the preservation of the country's heritage. Gladys Tawabi, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
A simultaneous coastal cleanup drive was carried out in various parts of the country and even beyond the seas, spearheaded by UNTV and the members Church of God International. This is part of the Ocean Care initiative of the Public Service Channel in partnership with MCGI. More than 1,000 sacks of assorted trash were gathered during the conducted activity. Maribel Boral Cabling will tell us the details.
The plastic waste is one of the major causes of marine life degradation. However, ocean pollution does not only adversely affect marine resources, but also the livelihood, health, and the food source of the society. Aiming to contribute to addressing the global issue of ocean pollution, the Ocean Care Initiative conducted simultaneous coastal cleanup drive activities nationwide and across the seas this weekend. The Ocean Care Initiative is led by UNTV in partnership with MCGI Bible Readers and MCGI Cares. This is in celebration of the International Coastal Cleanup 2023.
Po'y nagpapasalamat po na sa Diyos sa pagkakataon po na kami po sa OCI o Ocean Care Initiative ay binigyan ng pagkakataon upang makapaglinis po ang mga volunteers ng MCGI. Dito po sa isnagawang effort po ng mga volunteers ng OCI, kami po'y taos sa pusong talagang willing at regularly magawa po namin ito sa awa tulong po ng Diyos.
Aside from cleaning up the shorelines, rivers, and waterways, the OCI also conducted a trash audit wherein the types of collected litter are meticulously recorded. Based on the latest tally, as of 2:35 p.m. this September 18, the OCI volunteers have collected over 1,000 sacks of trash. Among the types of collected trash, the food wrapper is leading the most numbered with over 40,000 pieces, followed by foam pieces of trash with a partial tally of 8,136. Bottle cups are also among the top numbered of trash collected with 6,500 pieces. The OCI initial trash audit has also recorded 6,450 pieces of plastic and the grocery bags with a current tally of over 6,000 pieces. This is through the collective efforts of over 4,000 Ocean Care Initiative volunteers from Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, and overseas. This also includes OCI volunteers from other countries like Brazil.
Eu aprendi que nós podemos fazer boas obras de várias maneiras. Mesmo limpando o meio ambiente, nós fazemos uma boa obra para aqueles moradores, para aquelas pessoas que trabalham lá e para as outras pessoas também que estão passando por ali.
The OCI volunteers from Australia also gleefully joined the initiative.
Let's protect the ocean!
Meanwhile, Assistant Secretary Marshall Amaro Jr. of the Department of Environment and Natural Resources expressed his gratitude to UNTV and to all who continue to exert effort in addressing ocean pollution.
So malaking pagpapasalamat siguro on behalf of my Secretary Loizaga. I would like to express our appreciation and our gratitude doon sa efforts of UNTV and all those others who are spread all over. They are also doing their part, just like myself, in ensuring na all our efforts would not be in vain in terms of really at least stopping further worsening of the situation and hoping that we will finally have this negative trend realized na unti-unti siya hanggang sa later mawala na because we're addressing all the pathways.
Also, Senator Cynthia Villar said that initiative like this is highly helpful for the fisheries.
At binabati ko po ang UNTV for organizing a coastal cleanup during this International Coastal Cleanup Day. At sana ipagpatuloy nyo ang pagtulong na linisin natin ang ating mga coast kasi napaka-importante ito po para sa our own safety from flooding, and at the same time nakakatulong tayo sa ating mga fishermen na lumaki ang kita nila at gumanda ang kanilang buhay.
Meanwhile, if God will allow, the coastal and waterways cleanup drive activities of the UNTV Ocean Care Initiative will continue in other parts of the country and overseas. The Ocean Care Initiative is part of the public service advocacy of UNTV. Maribel Bural, Kabing, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Our Kasangbahay. As the world faces these trying times amid the various challenges and uncertainties, we are inviting everyone to join the global prayer for humanity from Monday to Friday, 9:30 p.m. Philippine time through the social media accounts of Members Church of God International.
And before we close, we will leave you with the word giving glory to God from the book of Psalms, chapter 103, verse 13. It says, "Like as the Father pitieth his children, so the Lord pitieth them that fear him." And those are the reasons behind the news September 18, 2023. Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. I am Marvy Delfin, live from Australia.
Because we need to know, we will always ask why. I am Maria Latoza, reporting live from Australia. We serve the people, we give glory to God.